Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. A benefit being taken away? Yes, that is exactly what we're seeing in this legislation. It is disguised in what is trying to be accomplished with it, and I've done some pieces on this so far regarding this piece of legislation. However, the funding source was not quite identified, and essentially what they are saying is disabled veterans, you have to pay for this other benefit. Now that it just rubs me the wrong way, and here's why. Veteran benefits should be paid for by the United States government, not by other disabled veterans. It seems that simple. Now, before we jump into it, I want to throw on a special thank you to Janice Fictum. Janice, thank you again so very much. Truly, you are a blessing. Thank you for your super chat. I do appreciate it very, very much. So jumping into this, there is a press release that came out December 3rd, 2025 on the House Committee on Veterans Affairs ranking member Mark Takano's website. He is out of California, and going to read through this just to give us a little bit of insight, I guess. And I'll try to fill in the blanks a little bit where I can on my knowledge that I have so far. All right, so this starts off, it says, today the House Veterans Affairs Committee held a full committee hearing on two bills, H.R. 6047, the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act of 2025, and H.R. 4077, Guard Veterans Healthcare Act. Okay, so two acts, two pieces of legislation. And it starts into it here. The Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act of 2025, introduced by Congressman Tom Barrett, would increase home loan fees on disabled veterans with a disability rating of 70% or less after their first use of a VA home loan. All right, so let's stop there for a minute. The Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act is the $10,000 per year or $833 per month increase to disability compensation for catastrophically injured veterans. Is that something that should happen? Yes. Who should pay for that? The federal government should pay for that. However, in what I just read, what they are saying is veterans will have to foot the bill to pay for that disability compensation increase by way of their VA home loan funding fee. So the way that it works today is if you are a disabled veteran with a 10% rating or higher, your VA home loan funding fee is waived, and it could be thousands and thousands of dollars. So that fee is waived if you're 10% or higher. Now, what they're telling us here in this is that your first time using your VA home loan, if you're 10% rated, you would still be able to have that fee waived. But if you decided to move out of that house and buy another house, or sell that house and go buy another house, your next home that you purchase will absolutely come with a VA funding fee. And you will have to pay that even if you're at a minimum of 10% rating. You'll have to pay that because you need to pay into this pool of money to pay for the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act. So again, veterans should not be paying for veterans benefits to be established. Okay, so new veteran benefits being established through the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Veterans Benefits Expansion Act, good. Should be funded by the federal government, not veterans. All right, moving on. The funds generated from these fees, this is the VA home loan funding fee, would provide for a modest increase in compensation benefits for veterans, surviving spouses, and catastrophically disabled veterans by increasing dependency and indemnity compensation and special monthly compensation, respectively. Quotation here. An increase in SMC is long overdue, which is special monthly compensation. So too is an increase to the woefully low DIC, dependency and indemnity compensation. Although I believe this limited increase doesn't go far enough, but a veteran should never foot the bill for another veteran's benefits. And that is what this bill is attempting to do. Veteran benefits are the responsibility of the American people, a responsibility that should never be placed on the backs of disabled veterans. Veterans can't afford additional fees, especially at a time when they're already facing rising costs in their day-to-day lives, said Ranking Member Mark Takano. And I agree wholeheartedly. I'll reach out to Mark and see if he can come on the channel. All right. I am also deeply concerned by Republican. Now, of course, there's going to be political flare-ups and all that stuff in this. At the end of the day, I don't care if you're blue or red. I care if you're supporting veterans and you're supporting them in the right way. So, sorry, we got to get through the political fever of this, but we got to read between the lines on what the issues are. I am also deeply concerned by the Republicans' choice to build barriers to benefits based on a veteran's disability rating percentage. All disabled veterans stand to benefit from VA home loans as they pursue the American dream, a dream they put their lives on the line for, continued Takano. Republicans need to find a better way to achieve these benefit increases, and we know that they can. This administration allocates funds to its priorities, billions of dollars for tax breaks for the wealthy and border security, but still they need disabled vets to pay for our most vulnerable veterans and survivors. The way this legislation was written gives me serious misgivings. I commit to finding a solution to get these families the benefits they have earned, but this bill, as written, is untenable. So, here's the idea. If you have good ideas on how to do it, let's figure that out and figure out a way to fund it and help propose that. Moves on here. I find it completely unacceptable that Republicans can find the money to pay for billionaire. It kind of just goes into sideways stuff for a little while. Committee to find a solution. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Alternatively, the bipartisan Guard Veterans Healthcare Act, introduced by Congressman Lloyd Doggett, gives the VA the authority to seek reimbursement from Veterans Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D plans for any healthcare services veterans who are enrolled in these plans receive at VA. This legislation also strengthens VA ability to recover payments from all third-party payers for care it furnishes to veterans by establishing enforcement authority and the ability to collect civil monetary penalties from parties that fail to reimburse VA in a timely manner. Currently, VA is statutorily prohibited from billing Medicare for healthcare services it furnishes to veterans. For veterans who enroll in private Medicare Advantage or Part D plans, this leads to taxpayers paying twice for veterans' healthcare. First, in the form of the capitated rates paid by Medicare plans, which the plans receive regardless of whether enrollees use any service, and second, in the form of appropriations for VA direct care system. For years, private insurers offering Medicaid and Part D plans have marketed them to veterans by offering $0 monthly premiums or cash-like monthly rebates to encourage enrollment. The Medicaid plans, MA plans, collect the payments from CMS for their veteran enrollees, while the veterans themselves receive most or all of the health care at the VA. This leads to more than $20 billion in duplicative spending each year. Unlike the Sherry Briley and Eric Edmondson Benefit Expansion Act of 2025, the Guard Veterans Health Care Act would not be paid for by veterans, but by private health insurance companies that offer Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D plans. Funds collected from the plans would be deposited into VA's Medical Care Collections Fund and returned to funding veterans' health care. There's a quotation here, and then we'll go ahead and end it out. Insurance companies are capitalizing on a loophole that allows them to make billions of dollars per year by enrolling veterans who never use their services. The long-standing prohibition on VA being able to recoup the costs of services it provides to veterans enrolled in Medicare Advantage and Medicare Part D plans has created significant waste of taxpayer dollars to the benefit of large health insurance companies. We need to end this predatory practice and reinvest these funds into VA healthcare system, said Ranking Member Takano. With that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.